noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, at our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Wednesday, November 19th. November 19th. Tomorrow, I was thinking of Uncle Kenny's birthday tomorrow. So this is really Wednesday, November 19th with your host, me, Ray, and Ventnor and Zach, and, well, some dealership somewhere.
Sitting here in my office in Washington, D.C. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Today's show brought to you by us, CarEdge.com. For those of you that are unfamiliar, my dad and I, for the past 6 years, within a brilliant and incredible team behind the scenes, have been building CarEdge.com. Want to make you aware of one thing in particular, our car buying service. If you want to be hands-off and let us do the work on your behalf, we've got a $150 off promotion right now. Check that out back at CarEdge.com. It ends soon, so take advantage of that. And importantly, folks, get a free consultation call with our team. No need to jump right into it. Learn more before you do, and meet those that support our efforts back on the website, CarEdge.com. Dad, it's officially the best time to buy a car in 2025. You've got a video that'll be coming out over on the CarEdge channel later this week. It'll be on Saturday, but I thought we could take some time today to talk about the dynamics that you and I are seeing in the market. Before we jump into the data, let's just start with that assessment. It's officially the best time to buy a car in 2025. You were just on some local news up in Rochester, New York. I don't know. Am I taking words out of your mouth? Am I misinterpreting you? Do you think we have finally entered the moment in time where the deals are there, the negotiability is there, the trade-in values are right, the APRs are right, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Am I being honest in the title of today's show?
You honest in a title on any show? Well, this is probably the closest you've come. Is it the best time? If you are in the market for a car, with the amount of incentives that are out there, and we know that incentives were down in October to some degree, but I think we're starting to see the manufacturer incentives bounce back up in November. I know one of the things that we discovered, I'm assuming it was Justin on the team that discovered it, was that there are 42 deals available.
0% financing offers.
42 0% financing offers on new vehicles out there. That's the highest number of 0% financing offers we have seen all year. Does that lower the price of the car? No, that's on you when you go in to negotiate. But what it does do, if you qualify for those specialized rates, is it lowers your monthly payment. And unfortunately, the sad reality is that about 84% of all customers are what's known as payment buyers in the industry. The only thing they care about is, well, what's my monthly payment going to be? So with these specialized interest rates, there is an opportunity out there for people to finally have monthly payments that are at least approaching affordability for a lot of people. So from that perspective, yes, this is the best time. Excuse me, as I lose my voice. This is the best time to buy a car in 2025 that we have seen so far.
And I think it's important to note, we're going to talk about new cars first here, but also for used vehicles. We saw another week, we'll look at the data from Black Book. We saw another week of really significant, over 1% declines in wholesale used car prices, which again indicates to us two things. One is we anticipate and expect to see used car prices on the retail side go down, and trade-in offers are going to fall off of a cliff. If wholesale prices drop 1% week over week, your trade-in offer, the dealer's not going to decrease that offer by 1%. They're going to decrease it by 3%, 5%. Like there's a vig there between those two numbers. But Dad, you're so right. Back on CarEdge.com, Justin and our incredible team of writers, including Rebecca and Steven, are publishing all of the Black Friday deals. I put the link as a ticker down below. CarEdge.com/Black Friday will take you right here. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised, because the most recent data we had showed for the month of October that the manufacturers were actually decreasing their incentives. That's what this orange line here shows you, is that they actually decreased the amount of incentive spend that they were providing. But then you look at the Black Friday offers, the November offers, and to your point, 42 Black Friday 0% financing offers. And Dad, some of these are on like the Ford F-150, the best-selling vehicle in the United States, one of the best-selling vehicles in the United States. So the incentives are there, and then obviously you and I spend all of our time talking about it, shouting about it, supply and demand. Both on the new and used car side, we have the highest level of inventory we've had all year. Days
Yes.
supply for new vehicles over 88 days. Many manufacturers, many dealers, everything's geospecific. That's why with CarEdge Pro, we provide you with in your area what's the day supply for your area. But many of these brands that have an oversupply of inventory, and I'll pull up one more thing and then I'm going to pass it off to you. There was a quote here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. This comes from the most recent Cox Automotive update. Quote, recent inventory trends reveal that some manufacturers may be edging towards overstocked territory as consumer demand shifts. Automakers are walking a fine line, and rising inventories could quickly shift from strategic flexibility to a liability if stock outpaces sales momentum. There you go.
And I think you see that when you look at the incentives in October, which fell precipitously down to 6.5% of the transaction price was covered by incentives. You know what else fell precipitously in October? Overall new car sales. Okay, so you combine the decrease in the incentive amount, and then you combine that with the decline in sales. So what do you think happens in November? The manufacturers are looking at new car inventory, on-hand inventory for the month of November, somewhere around 3 million new cars, the highest level it's been in years. Okay, they look back at October, they go, well, sales kind of sort of tanked. How do we reverse this? Okay, 42 0% interest deals. And there's lease deals out there. They are doing everything that they can in order to try and figure out how to make what is unaffordable for most suddenly, at least perhaps, affordable for a few more folks.
Yeah,
And
certainly
so,
seems
yeah,
that way.
you're seeing the incentives go up. And I don't know, you combine that with dealers sitting on inventory and being more motivated to negotiate with you and discount. It's the best time of the year to buy a car.
We're going to the text messages. Give me a second here. I was texting with a dealer principal, owns 20 dealerships.
Only 20?
Only 20. Give me a second here.
Yeah.
We have a 540 days supply on our current sales rate for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. His GM stores, 67 days supply.
What's that tell you?
Flashing it. There you go, right? Like, I mean, it's just, what else do you need to know? Like, if you've been on the sidelines, this market has not been this frothy in terms of inventory in years. And Deb, let's turn our attention to the used car side for a moment here. These slides, let me scroll down. On the used car side of things, right here, 2.26 million used cars in inventory, 48 days supply, and obviously those wholesale prices falling. Think about this for a moment. 48 days supply is the high watermark we've seen for how many days it would take dealers to sell their used vehicle inventory. And it's 40 days less than the new car side of things. And we're starting to tell you, actually, you have a little bit of negotiating leverage on used cars in today's market. That puts into perspective how big of a buyer's market new cars, and especially if you're that dealership group that has almost a 600 days supply of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, we're not even in the same arena, right? Like they just got to get rid of those vehicles as quickly as possible. But on the used car market as well, we are starting to see more available inventory. We are seeing it sit for longer. And an interesting tidbit that you were able to identify when you were digging into the numbers is that we're seeing a lot of newer used vehicles on the market, and that ultimately is keeping up the prices. And those are the vehicles that are actually depreciating a little bit more, but it probably makes sense to go buy the new one instead of the newer used one. So the used car market, bit of a buyer's market, but a couple other dynamics there.
And here's an important dynamic to excuse me, to keep in mind. If excuse me, if you have a trade-in, your trade-in is worth more today than it will be tomorrow. It is worth more today than it will be next week. It is worth more today, way more today than it will be 6 weeks from now, if we continue down the path of depreciation that we've seen over the last 3.5 to 4 weeks, which has been running at about a point a week, which is about double what it normally runs. So if there is a car out there, new or used, that you like and you have a trade-in, if you can figure out an acceptable price on the newer used car you want to buy, and you can work the dealer to make you an acceptable offer for the car you want to sell them, your trade-in, then do it now, because your trade is going to go down in value much more quickly than the retail asking prices are going to go down. So you're better off trading now than 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks from now.
And if you haven't, folks, please just Google search CarEdge, car value, and this page will pop right up. You can get that offer from CarMax, as well as see the projection of that future vehicle's value. If you've already signed into your CarEdge account, it'll show up over here when you open up that navigation. Being informed about what your trade-in's worth is more important than ever before, because, Dad, again, if the prices are dropping a point a week at the wholesale auctions, you've got to imagine that low ball trade-in offer that was already going to be a low ball trade-in offer is getting even lower as those used car managers are seeing what's happening out there at their auctions. Dad, let's turn our attention to the chat here. Let's go. We've got a kind contribution.
Thank you, Mark.
Kept Brandon on for over 2 hours. You wear out in 30 minutes. LOL. I guess Brandon from Car Questions Answered must have been doing a live stream for 2 hours. That's nuts. We go every day, folks, though. So 30 minutes is where we cap out.
We used to do a live show on Saturday nights that would run anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, which was, kind of silly when you think that we should have better things to do on a Saturday night.
We've got here, Dad, from Bella. Should I finance at 0% and then pay off in a month to get a better deal overall? So I think the question is, should I take the dealer financing in order to get a better deal? But I think when it comes to these 0%, 0.9%, 1.9%, it doesn't give you more leverage, right?
Why would you want to pay off a 0% loan when you're not paying any interest for borrowing the money? Why do that? Keep your money in the bank, and even though interest rates are low on savings accounts and things like that, it is still more than zero. So why would you take the money out of a savings account to pay off a 0% interest loan? I would not recommend doing that.
From Matthew, I feel like the days on lot gives the most leverage to a buyer more than time of year. I want my dad to answer this, and I want to remind everyone that we provide days on lot back on the CarEdge Car Search. All you got to do is click on Shop New or Shop Used. It's right there on every single vehicle. 112 days on this one, 25 days. When you have CarEdge Pro, that's when you can click into these vehicles, and not only can you see the market days supply, which is how many have sold versus how many are for sale, you will also get the dealer invoice price, $80,403. But this days on market, that's always available to you. Please check that out back at CarEdge.com. Now, Dad, to this question here, this comment here, days on market versus time of year, is it either or both?
Typically it's both, especially this time of year. But you have to look at days on market, how long a vehicle's been sitting on a dealer's lot. And if it is an aged vehicle on a dealer's lot, and you are the latter part of November or December, and the dealership is in a frenzy to hit sales goals, well, then you can combine the time of year and the days on lot to get the best deal possible. Now, that's not to say that during the rest of the year, aged inventory isn't the inventory that dealers are most motivated to sell, because they are. So that is a prime driver of getting a better deal, is days on lot. But this is the time of year when you can combine those two, days on lot and time of year, where dealerships are most motivated to make deals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a both situation. We've also got here, Dad, from Richard. Is there an incentive for CarEdge to increase car sales? I don't think so. I mean, we get a little busier at the end of the year as more people actually choose to buy vehicles, but I think the incentive for us is just to provide the right information at the right time. Many times, if you listen to this show or you watch our videos, we're communicating to people, don't buy cars. This is the one moment so far this year where it feels like the switch has flipped. Where really now the moment in time is it's the best time to buy. If you've been waiting, and we know people think about and care about what we have to say, which we appreciate more than you can imagine. Listen to us now. Now is actually the time to go do it.
There, many of the things that we say are data driven, and this is we're seeing both on the new and used car side of things the highest inventory levels of the year, the highest days to turn, okay, to sell a vehicle. On the used car side, it's 48 days is the average amount of time it takes to sell a car. On the new car side, the national average is an 88-day supply. So we know when you look at these numbers and you look at the brands that have 110-day supply, 120, 150-day supply, well, you combine that with the cost of actually carrying the inventory and the fact that their inventory levels are rising, then you know that that's the appropriate time to go out and try and get the best deal that you can. You know, if we were back in the times when there was 900,000 new vehicles available on a monthly basis, then all the leverage is back at the dealer. But as we're approaching and perhaps surpassing 3 million new vehicles in inventory available, that kind of switches the leverage to the customer. And in reality, the customer always has the leverage, because if you choose not to spend your money, they can't sell the car. But most folks, you know, there's the fear of missing out. Sometimes you just have to be strong enough to get up and walk out to encourage the dealer to dig a little deeper into their discounts in order to get you to finally say yes.
And again, you got nearly 3 million new cars in inventory, high watermark for the year. Over 2.23 million used cars in inventory, high watermark for the year. Makes our job easier. We don't have to really differentiate between the two. It's a buyer's market on both sides. Dad, let's keep going through the chat here. Before we do, however, I want to remind everyone, I've got it scrolling at the bottom there, CarEdge.com/Black Friday. Our team, including Steven, who's recently joined our team, are compiling all of the manufacturer incentives in one place. And I want to highlight one here in particular for trucks, Dad.
Yes.
The 2025 F-150, 0% financing for 60 months, no down payment, and oh my goodness, deferment of the first payment for up to 90 days. This is Ford's big push here into the end of the year, and this is on the most popular pickup truck in the United States. So just another example.
What Ford is saying is, go out, buy the truck. Don't worry about buying a truck and having it impact what you can buy for your family and friends for the holiday season, because you're not going to have to make a payment until late February or March. So you'll have time to recover from all that holiday spending before you have to make your first payment. It is, I don't know, good thinking on Ford's part to encourage that the 90 days deferred payment.
Now, let's be very clear here. You said it a moment ago. It's also data-driven. So if I come back over to the CarEdge car search, we're looking at Ford. We've got an F-150. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's the first page of results here, folks. 218 days on the market. Why else would Ford offer 0% financing for up to 60 months, $0 down, and 90-day payment deferment? It's because dealers are sitting on vehicles like this one, a $78,000 F-150 for 218 days. That's why, to be very clear, you still negotiate the out-the-door price with the dealership, right? So I want to know, what's the dealer invoice price on this? They've got $5,000 a markup in the doggone thing. I want to understand market conditions. 468 days supply. This dealership, I should at least be getting a $4,000 to $6,000 dealer discount off of this vehicle, then the incentives from the manufacturer, the 0% financing, the $0 down. So this is just such an important moment in time where you really need to not get caught up in the, hubbub of 0% financing. Okay, so that's what the deal is. No, you work the out the door price, you'll use the market intelligence, and on top of all that, you take whatever the manufacturer is giving you, which in this case, to be very clear, is a hell of a strong offer from Ford. It's not
Well,
cheap for them to offer 0% financing with 0 down for up to 90 days, no payment. And we know Ford has been more generous with their approvals, Dad. That was something that Ford did a couple months ago. They became more generous with who they would even approve for these programs.
and think about it. Take $70,000 and divide it by 60. Your payment's over $1,000 a month, but you're not paying any interest back. And how much is that costing Ford so that you don't have to pay any interest? It's costing them, I don't know, $7, $8, $10,000 perhaps. That's a huge incentive.
Let's look at this question. Can you explain 0% financing? Is it really 0%?
Okay, let me help you with that. 0% financing is 0% financing. There will be no interest charged listed on the bank contract. You know, the disclosure portion of the bank contract, the top a third of the bank contract, where it shows what the purchase price is, what the cash down is, what the interest rate is, what the interest charge is. Okay, that disclosure section of the bank contract on a 0% loan is going to show 0 interest being paid, because there is no interest. Now, you're going to say to me, but couldn't I get a better deal if I didn't take their 0% interest? Well, if they're offering rebates, my guess is the rebate isn't quite as large as what the savings would be with the 0% interest. You know, the manufacturer can't do both typically, where they'll buy down an interest rate to 0 and still give you a huge rebate on top of it.
And when you say rebate, that's like a cash incentive.
A cash incentive, a customer cash rebate.
We've done the maths countless times. It always makes more sense. I shouldn't say always. Most of the time, it makes way more sense to take the finance incentive. Ford's eating thousands of dollars in cost here.
Yes, you know, $10,000, $12,000 in many cases.
But I want to be very clear, because we have this comment, Dad. The Ford dealer I'm working with won't budge on the $1,200 pre-delivery
Go
fee.
find a different Ford dealer.
Yeah, so to be very clear, it's two dynamics when you buy a car. There's the manufacturer incentives or rebates. Actually, I have a perfect example of this. Why don't I cue this up?
And what is it? It's like close to 3,000 Ford dealers nationwide, if I remember correctly. So if your Ford dealer won't budge on their $11.99 pre-delivery fee, go find a Ford dealer that doesn't even have it, because they're out there.
Dad, I want to just actually take a moment to shout out another thing you get with CarEdge Pro is the AI negotiator. And here's a perfect example of fees and things like that and how that plays a role in this. I've got a negotiation that I did. Actually, I didn't do it. My AI negotiator did it on my behalf. You got 32 emails and 6 text messages and 9 files sent back and forth by the dealership. You want to see what ended up happening here, Dad? I'm going to zoom in on it right here. First out the door price was $43,782. And the things I want you to look at here are, obviously, we have the customer savings up here at the top. We've got rebates, $3,000 in rebates. We've got $5,100 in dealer added accessories. We've got $1,339 in fees. Now, to be very clear here, I'm not buying this doggone vehicle with all these fees, all these add-ons and things like that, but $43,782. The AI negotiator went back and forth with this dealership so much that it got down to $42,000. I'm still probably not buying the doggone thing at $42,000, but look, the fees went down to $699. The rebates, which is what the manufacturer is incentivizing, stayed at $3,000. The dealer accessories went down to $3,977. So the savings on and out the door price can come in all these various areas, right? That's why we focus so much on out the door price. But what didn't change between these two? The rebates. They stayed $3,000. That's what Dodge is putting forward as their incentive to help move this vehicle. What did change? Obviously, the dealer added accessories and the fees that they added onto the vehicle. Again, what's really cool about this is I didn't lift a finger. The dealership doesn't know my name or my contact information. I use CarEdge Pro. It gave me an email address. It gave me a phone number. And instead, my AI agent did all the work for me. I had it on autopilot mode. But Dad, it's interesting to see here that just because the manufacturer comes out with a big incentive doesn't necessarily mean you're going to not have dealers doing the $1,200 pre-delivery fee. No, you have to negotiate the out the door price.
Exactly. And you have to find a dealer that's willing. If the dealer you're working with is unwilling, say, hey, great, I understand. There's other dealers out there that are willing. And I'm going to go find the one that is willing. And they're going to end up selling the vehicle. And maybe, perhaps, since you're my local dealer, maybe I'll be kind enough to bring it to you for service work. But I guarantee you the service work won't be anything other than warranty work. So you could make your profit and sell me the truck and not force me to go somewhere else.
Use the tools back on the website. Just use the tools on the website or the services. Use the tools or the services back on the website. Let's give Eric a shout out, Pops. Picking up my brand new Ram at 1500 Laramie, 15% off MSRP. Like
Nice
Pops said, don't wait. Go for the deals if you find them.
And you know, to try and time the bottom of the market, maybe 4 weeks from now, Eric could have gotten 16% off.
I wouldn't even plant the freaking seed, Dad, because I don't. What's going to change between now and 4 weeks from now?
Well, Eric's going to be enjoying his truck for the next 4 weeks. That's what's going to change. Everybody wants to get the best possible deal. Nobody gets the best possible deal because nobody ever times the market 100% correctly. So if you find something that's the right price and it's what you want and it's affordable, just do it. Just stop driving yourself crazy trying to save another $100 here. You know, this is a Ram pickup truck. I'm guessing, you know, the average Ram pickup truck price is what, $60-some thousand. If you're looking at a $60,000 truck, is that extra $100 the difference between saying yes and no? And if it is the difference, well, then there's something drastically wrong here if that $100 is what's going to make it affordable or not.
For sure, Pops, for sure. We've got from Joe. Thank you, Joe, for the kind contribution. Pops, is CarSense coming back?
Well, you know, Brandon has had to start going to auctions on Tuesdays, which kind of interfered with what we were trying to do. And then we're trying to come up with a different concept as to what that program should be. And we've been trying to put our heads together. And I think the closest we've come to anything at the moment is making it an interview show where we try and interview others in the industry. But we haven't agreed or finalized our thinking as to how or if and when we're going to do it. But I do miss hanging out with Brandon once a week.
Sounds like there's a chance it comes back. I want to just pull up one more comment. Where'd it go? Bear with me. Here we go.
You're supposed to star the damn things.
Starting to sound like a car salesman. I think it's really important, y'all. I want to be very clear. This is going to be the message here for this moment in time. Absolutely for this moment in time. And it's data-driven. Everything is data-driven. So please do not lose faith or trust in us. We are here to help. The community forum, Dad, is active like crazy right now. People helping each other out, reviewing deals. That's what we built CarEdge for, is for people to help one another, for our team to help you. So please, please, please do not get it twisted here. We are still in the business of helping you, providing the best information, the best insights, the best tactics. And we're going to be very clear and transparent. All signs are pointing towards go. It's new for us. All right. We spend, 95% of the year saying don't do it right now. And then we get to spend a little bit of time that actually helps.
And we're not saying if you're not in the market, you need to get in the market. We're just saying if you're in the market, now's the time. That's also, if that sounds like a car salesman to you, I don't know. I think I might call that a pragmatist, but what do I know? I am and have been and spent a lifetime being a car salesman.
Folks, one final pitch of the show. If we can help you out, it's back at CarEdge.com. We do have a promotion running, ends soon. $150 off our car buying service, and 15% off CarEdge Pro, which is the data and the AI negotiator. It is still really cool. Obviously, our concierge team, they're going to be the ones that get you the best possible deal, the best possible service. But seeing the AI negotiator just kick some butt, man, getting these 2 different OTDs, 43,782 down to 42,000. And again, that was all AI. It's pretty doggone cool. Still so impressed with what we've built here at our company. We're back tomorrow with more news, more CarEdge Live.
Yes.
If you want, you can check out on this same channel. My dad was on the Rochester local news. You should go watch that clip here on CarEdge Live. It's under the videos tab, not live. Pops, I've got a meeting I'm going to go run to. You enjoy the afternoon, and thanks for everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you. And we'll see everybody back here tomorrow. And thanks for joining us today.